Oh yeah, I'm out here. Are you out there? I got a different backdrop for you today. I think you're gonna like it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Are you ready for this? Hi there. Yeah, it's a new backdrop. You like it? I'll tell you why it's a new backdrop. Let me just tell you the story. It's called The Story of the Internet. Hi, Mom and Dad. They're just next door. I'll tell you why in just a moment. Story of the Internet. I think that we actually had gotten the bugs worked out with our internet over there at the house just in time for the coronavirus to hit. Hi, Larry Miles, the weatherman from up there in Louisville. What's the weather like up there? Cloudy and not very sunshiny down here. Anyhow, back to my story. We just about had all the internet glitches worked out, and then the coronavirus hits, and now everybody's online. And so I have to use it. We have two internet services there. One that is personal for the family, and the other that is for the ministry. And whenever the ministry one goes down, I just switch over to the personal one for the family. But the problem is we have to work a tower for one of them. The tower's in our next door neighbor's yard, so we have good signal. But when the community goes to getting online and doing all that kind of stuff, it just bogs the signal down, and so that one's not working. And then we got Hughes Net, and it's one of those satellite things, and it's not working. So you know what I did? I went to the map property, and I am now sitting in the couch room. For any mapsters who are watching, I am sitting in the couch room, and you recognize that backdrop. I'm sure you do. But map, as you know, has map, as you know, has fiber optic internet now. And so I'm over here using the fiber optic internet to get these happy moments of holy hope and humor to you. But let's talk about the backdrop just really quickly. Larry says it's sunshine and about 60. Good, that's great up there, Larry. It's not really bad here. We're not raining or anything. It's just pretty overcast. But now the backdrop. As you know, MAP each year, we do all kinds of things. I mean, all kinds of things. It's a ton of Bible study, a lot of travel, that kind of thing. But one of the things that we have done under the direction of Kathy, who is a tremendous ministry coordinator, she often makes situations happen where we can go even in our own community and do some service projects, that kind of a thing. Well, several years ago, I think it was 2 or 3 years in a row, we actually did a summer reading program with the library, or we helped them with a summer reading program at the library, our local library, and we did a skit or whatever. Well, one of the skits that the Mapsters did was called Workouts for Dummies. And it was cute. And anyhow, that's what the backdrop's about. So the kids, it takes them a long time, and they put this thing on a tarp or whatever, and they painted that themselves. Really did a good job. Let's see if I get out of the way. Can you read some of the stuff down below? There you go. Yeah, you can't see too much of it, but anyhow, pretty cool. I like it. All right, so let's just jump right into here to our holy hope and humor under the supervision of good internet at the Walmart. What do you call this place? The map property. All right, here you go. You ready? I told my wife how thankful I am to have someone I enjoy being quarantined with. She said, must be nice. Sydney didn't actually say that, but I set you up to think that she did. So anyhow, if you are in that kind of a quandary, and you tell your wife, I'm sure glad I got you, somebody that I enjoy being with, to be quarantined with, and she said, well, it must be nice, and you know that you're in the doghouse, then here's a few kind of warm-up lines. You might call them pick-up lines if you're single, but if you're married and you're trying to get back in the good graces of your wife, I don't know why I always pick on men. It seems like we're on the outside looking in. But anyhow, if you're trying to get back in the good graces of that special someone, here's a few lines you could use. And they all relate to this COVID-19 thing, this coronavirus thing. If COVID-19 doesn't take you out, can I? Oh, that's not very nice, is it? Here's a good one. Since all the public libraries are closed, I'm checking you out instead. That one works. I think I might get a mooch or two from Cindy off of that one. That one's pretty good, huh, honey? All right. And then this last one that I thought was really, really good. Without you, my life is as empty as the toilet paper shelf at Walmart. That's how it would be, sweetheart. If you weren't in my life would be so empty. It'd be like the toilet paper shelf at Walmart. I love my wife. Anyhow, there you go. There's some COVID-19 pickup lines, or however you want to use those. Saw those on Facebook, thought that they were actually pretty cute. All right, here we go. Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 12 is our holy hope moment for this fine morning. And it says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Hope deferred makes the heart sick. I don't know if you feel like I do, but every once in a while I look up at the sky and I think about the Lord's return, and I kind of get a heart sickness, a hope. My hope is certainly rooted in Him, but He hasn't come back to get me yet. And sometimes I just get a kind of a feeling in my stomach like I'm just so ready to go. I just want to go. But he says here that hope deferred makes the heart sick. However, a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. That moment when Jesus breaks through the sky, the trumpet sounds, and here we go. I'm telling you what, it is going to be some kind of something, isn't it? Now, I think that I know that the majority of the planet, according to Jesus' words, it's going to be, when the Lord comes back, there's going to be panic all over the planet, okay? But for a handful of us, it's going to be absolutely the day we have been living for. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got to be honest with you. Sometimes I'm heartsick. Sometimes hope is deferred in the sense that I don't have it yet. Jesus says, I go to prepare a place for you. And so I know He's working on my mansion. I know it's going to be great, but I haven't moved in yet. You know what I'm saying? I've used this illustration before, but maybe it'll help you understand the concept of hope. Years ago, Cindy and I don't know, almost 25 years ago, Cindy and I moved back to Arkansas. We lived here, then we moved to Illinois, had a wonderful time there. Then we moved back to Arkansas, and we established the Missionaries for America program. But before we could establish that 20 years ago, we had to buy a house and various things. And so we bought this old farmhouse because we knew that we could do all kinds of renovations to it. My dad's watching. Man, did he put all kinds of work in that thing. I'm telling you what. But we could do all kinds of renovations. We could bring kids in. They could stay in the various bedrooms, and we could have Bible classes all day long. And so the MAP concept began. But as we went to the bank to get the money for purchasing this house, they were very, very good. Got a wonderful bank here that we use here in Paragould, and they're very, very good to us. And so we got the money, got the loan, signed the papers, all the agreements had been made, etc., etc. But one of the things that was in the agreement was that the people who owned the house prior had agreed to put a new roof on it. And so it was about a month before they could get out of the house with all of their stuff and get a new roof on it. And by the way, in the interim, I think the dad actually fell off and broke his arm. But anyhow, that's another part of the story. The point that I'm saying is that we owned the house, us in the bank. We owned the house for a month before we were able to actually move in there. And I remember laying in my bed and thinking about all the wonderful things I'm going to do to that old farmhouse and how we're going to break through this wall and make an extra bedroom there and break into the attic, which we did. We actually lived in the attic for years. Break into the attic, and we had a living room, a small kitchen, bathroom, 2 bedrooms up there. Anyhow, I remember dreaming that thing up, but for a full month, I was not able to move into my house. Well, folks, we are in that month right now as far as our timeline is concerned. The Lord is making a place for us. He is breaking walls and putting up walls and making things as if there were, I don't know how it's going to look. But He is making a place for me. You know what I'm saying? But I can't move in yet. And so in a sense, every day of this month, the season that I'm in my life is kind of a hope deferred. I know He's there. I know I've got confident expectation, but that's what it is. It's expectation. However, the end of the verse says, a longing fulfilled is a tree of life. Where do you go to get the tree of life? In the presence of the Lord. It's interesting, isn't it, that the tree of life was first spotted in the garden, and then it was moved to eternity in the Lord's presence, and that's where we're going to go. And it's like the tree of life whenever that expectation is fulfilled. Well, one day the Lord's going to come and get you, and that day is going to be crazy cool special. And in that moment, hope will no longer be deferred. It's not going to be a confident expectation. It will be it's mine now. And you're going to do it. I wish I had the picture. This would have been a perfect day to have it. You know that picture the last several days that you've seen, that girl jumping into the arms of Jesus? I love that picture. It is the be there picture for me. Well, that picture is going to be you if you live faithful. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right. A couple funnies as we wrap this thing up. The woman, she angrily jumps out of her car after colliding with another and she blurts out, "Why don't you people ever watch where you're driving? This is the third car I've hit this week." You ever met people like that? It's always somebody else's fault. You know what I'm saying? And even when it is their fault, they ain't going to apologize for it. You ever meet people like that? Oh, my. And how about this one? There was a hard rain, mud on the windshield. The car is narrowly escaping collisions with others, and the hitchhiker who just got picked up, he begins to regret even getting picked up by this guy. And so he just sheepishly says to the driver, he says, "Don't you think it'd be a good idea to stop and wipe off the windshield?" "Oh, it wouldn't matter," said the driver. "I left my glasses at home." Those are the kind of drivers you don't want to get in the car with. "All right, Mom, I'm going to make a confession." She already knows this one, but I only hitchhiked once in my life, and boy, did I get it. My parents were not pleased. This shows you how that from generation to generation things change. My dad hitchhiked all across the Northeast. When he was in the service, he hitchhiked back and forth. He did all kinds of hitchhiking. But his son, I don't think so. My son, I'd just pretty well take him out back. Well, I can't tell you. Because, you better not be hitchhiking, especially in this world today. It shows you how the world is getting increasingly worse. But anyhow, yeah, back in the day, my dad did a lot of hitchhiking. I only hitchhiked once. And I'm telling you what, the driver that I got in with, he was like this guy with the muddy window. Oh, man, scared me to death. I never hitchhiked again. So there, Mom. I hope that you'll accept my apology. All right. Well, there's your holy hope and humor. Ran out of jokes. I thought I'd give you another one, but I don't have any more. Okay, holy hope and humor for this fine day. Now, here's the thing. Tomorrow, I got to take my folks to Memphis. Would you pray about that? Because my dad don't need to be out there amongst all this stuff, but the doctor is insisting that he comes to Memphis to get his cast off, to have x-rays done, all of those kind of things. So we're going to drive him to Memphis. We're going to wrap him up like a mummy and try to get him in there, get the stuff done, and get him out again so we can drive an hour and a half back home. I'm not really looking forward to it because I just don't want to get my folks out there exposed to that kind of thing. But it is what it is. So would you be praying for my dad especially? My mom's not a young chicken anymore. And so if you, young chicken, I'm sorry, Mom, that probably wasn't exactly the illustration I should have used there. But anyhow, we need to, if you would pray for both of them, pray for all the folks, especially the elderly, are having to get out, and they don't even know, some of them, it's not even the elderly. I got a friend in Louisiana who's pregnant, and she says she's nervous about even going to the doctor for regular checkups, and I can imagine why. Because, man alive, you don't want to get the coronavirus in the middle of your pregnancy. God bless these folks who are having to seek out medical attention during this crazy, crazy time. But would you pray for my dad and my mom as we're going to go to Memphis tomorrow? But the point that I'm trying to make as I ramble and you're saying, get to it, Sonny. All right, here it is. Tomorrow at noon, I'm going to try to continue our little time together. But the problem is, I don't know where I'm going to be. I might be in the middle of driving back from Memphis. And so, did I spit on the camera there? So, whatever, I will do my best. Mom and Dad, we may have to pull off the side of the road and get this thing done. But I'll do my best to get us one up, but you won't have this backdrop. I don't know I guess it'll be a backdrop of my dad's foot. They're going to take off. They're taking the cast off and going to put him in one of those boot things. Maybe I could use his boot as my backdrop. Boot is my backdrop. Anyhow, somebody ought to write a book. Boot is my backdrop. I don't know what it'd be about, but anyhow, this is sonnychilds. I really need to stop because I need to get some other stuff done today. Anyhow, here I am, workout for dummies at the Map property, borrowing the internet to get this holy hope and humor out to you. I hope that you've enjoyed our time together. And again, join me tomorrow at noon for another segment of holy hope and humor. But who knows where it will come from? Somewhere between here and Memphis, I suspect. Sonnychilds saying, be there, Matthew 16:26.